A second group of survivors and the remains of one victim of the bombing attack in Egypt have arrived in Korea. In a shocking crime, a Korean tourist was shot dead in a well-known resort in the Philippines. And the long-awaited family reunions for war-separated families have finally come to pass in the North Korean resort of Mount Kumgang. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Thursday, February 20th. I'm Luke Clary. The second group of survivors from the bombing attack in Egypt has arrived in Korea. Also arriving today were the remains of the late Je Jin-su, the local travel agency chief who perished in the bombing.
All of the Koreans wounded by the blast in Egypt, who had not yet returned home and were being treated at a local hospital, made their way home today. The 13 wounded who left Cairo on the evening of February 19th arrived in Korea at around 11:30 a.m. on the next day. And the other 2 injured flew into Incheon International Airport via a different plane 2 hours afterwards. The lack of quality medical care in the location of bombing is known to have made their injuries worse. Among the wounded, 15 whose injuries were less serious arrived in Korea first. Heavily guarded, they hurriedly went to a place to board a bus provided by the travel agency. They arrived home safely but still seemed in shock.
먼저 빵 터지고 난 땅땅땅 소리가 나길래 다들 머리 숙여가지고 숙이고 있다고.
The remains of the local travel agency head, the late Je Jin-su, were transported into Korea on a separate plane in the afternoon. The bodies of the Jincheon Church Christians who were also killed by the blast, the late Kim Hong-yeol and Kim Jin-gyu, will likely be transported into Korea on February 21st at the earliest.
A Korean tourist has been shot dead in a well-known tourist resort in the northern Philippines. It's the first such incident of a Korean tourist death in the country since 2010.
A Korean tourist surnamed Hall was shot on the night of February 18th. He was on his way to the hotel, accompanied by 3 other people, when 2 gunmen on a motorcycle shot him. Witnesses said that men holding pistols approached Hall from behind and fired several shots at him before fleeing the scene. Hall's companions were confirmed to be safe, for they had run for cover during the shooting. The local police believe the shooters are locals who disputed with Hall over a fare. Some said that an argument had broken out between Hall and a tricycle driver prior to the shooting.
골프 관광과 함께 유흥가가 밀집된 지역이어서 우리 한국인 관광객들이 빈번히 방문하는 지역입니다.
In January of this year in Angeles, 2 men shot a Korean national who had withdrawn money from a bank and fled with $20,000 taken from him. A total of 13 Koreans were killed in the unstable Philippines, but they were all ethnic Koreans living in the country. Hall is the first Korean tourist to be shot to death in the Philippines since 2010. The Korean embassy in the Philippines urged the local police to conduct thorough investigation and promptly arrest the culprits.
Family reunions for war-separated families will take place starting today in North Korea's Mount Kumgang Resort. Those preparing to take part have arranged gift bags for their relatives, representing the long, sad years of separation.
Separated families gathered in Sokcho, Gangwon Province, ahead of the long-awaited reunions with their relatives across the border.
선물이 오고 있잖아. 속내이, 양말, 칫솔, 치약.
With only a few personal belongings are found, the bags are mostly occupied with gifts for their North Korean kin. Almost any items can be brought as gifts with no weight limit. However, electronic devices and home appliances are banned. An 85-year-old woman, Lee Hwan, is excited to see her 2 younger sisters at the reunion. She prepared hairpins as one of gifts for the sisters.
어렸을 때 이제 내가 꽂아줬어. 그러는데 그 생각이 나서 이제 이거를 하나 내가 준비했어요.
66-year-old Kim Myung-bok is bringing his late father's letter to his elder sister living in the north. His father passed away 10 years ago.
항상 그리워했다. 너한테 죄를 졌다 그런 내용이에요. 아들 2를 데리고 오고 딸 만나게 해놓고 왔잖아요.
82 South Koreans have brought 161 bags of gifts, roughly 2 bags per head. These separated families have waited for 6 decades to meet their North Korean relatives. Today, they finally reunited with their long-lost family members.
Police are investigating the cause of a roof collapse at Maona Ocean Resort in Gyeongju, North Gyeongsang Province that left 10 dead and dozens injured. Police believe shoddy construction could have been a factor.
The joint forensics team searches the remains of the collapsed building. They are there to identify the cause of the roof cave-in.
설계상이라든가 시방상 거기에 따른 재료도 물론 들어가 있겠죠. 총체적인 어떤 문제점이 있는지.
It has been confirmed that the roof of the auditorium was designed in accordance with the standards for snow load. Consequently, the collapse is more likely to be from shoddy construction. The forensics unit also plans to confirm whether proper materials were used in the building construction as shown in the blueprint. The investigators will look into whether steel beams were omitted during construction and whether they were thick enough.
설계 도면이나 이런 거 확보해서 오늘 감식 결과에 따라 가지고 시공회사라든가 이런 거 수사 방향이 다시 정립될 것 같습니다.
The police believe that a video recording of the accident will be a decisive clue and are working to repair a video camera damaged while filming the event at the time of the accident.
The opposition Democratic Party held an outdoor demonstration. They say a city employee was framed for espionage and demand a special investigation. The ruling Saenuri Party has so far rejected their demands.
The Democratic Party took the streets again 3 months later they had concluded their outdoor rally. The leading opposition party criticized the current government as an abnormal one that does not hesitate from committing perjury and fabricating evidence, in reference to the espionage charge launched against a former public employee.
없는 간첩을 만들어내기 위해서 우리 사회를 공안 통치의 어두운 그늘로 몰아가고 있습니다.
The Democratic Party urged that a special prosecutorial investigation must be accepted to probe all the allegation of false espionage charges and election interference by February 25th, the first anniversary of President Park Geun-hye's inauguration. Meanwhile, the Saenuri Party rejected the Democratic Party's demand outright. The ruling party blasted the opposition for siding out with an alleged spy and criticized the DP's outdoor protest.
진상이 아직 밝혀지지 않고 있습니다. 이런 문제를 지나치게 정치 쟁점화하면은 외교 문제로까지 비화될 수도 있는 사안입니다.
The Saenuri Party insisted that it could not accept a special prosecutor and said that they would wait for the outcomes of internal investigations or trial. The DP has upped its attack against the ruling party by holding a press conference today during which they urged the abolition of party nomination system for local elections. However, the Saenuri Party remains adamant in its position, leaving the opposition with no other options.
Risks of falls lurk in lakes, rivers, and reservoirs where ice has begun to melt with warming temperatures. A recent accident reminds us to be vigilant this time of year.
The surface of this reservoir looks frozen solid. A boy is lying precariously on his belly. As a rescue worker approaches to grab the boy, the ice breaks again. 40 minutes have passed since the boy fell into the icy water. He could have ended in a serious condition from hypothermia, but fortunately, he was saved by a rescue helicopter. He fell into the water while attempting to cross the frozen reservoir on a bicycle. The entire reservoir appeared frozen solid. However, the ice on the edge is only 5 centimeters thick. It is of a thickness that can be easily shattered with hands.
해빙기에는 얼음이 상당히 얇아지거든요. 그러니까 가에는 좀 두꺼운 듯 싶어도 안으로 가서 얇아지니까 절대 얼음에 들어가시면 안 됩니다.
In January 2012, an elementary school student fell into a frozen pond in Gangwon Province and died. 28 similar cases were reported over the past 3 years, leaving 10 people dead and 24 injured. experts advise that if people fall into the water during the ice melting period, they should remain calm and lie flat on the ice with their arms stretched out before calling for help.
Record-breaking snowfalls in Korea's eastern region has spurred scores of volunteers into action, helping residents of Gangwon province dig their way out of the snow.
A dozen or so public officers worked furiously to shovel the meter-thick snow off the roof. They came all the way from Daejeon to reciprocate the help they received from Gangwon residents when Daejeon was hit with a devastating snowstorm in 2004.
이제 많은 지원을 해서 도움이 많이 됐는데 그 빛을 조금이나마 갚는 것 같아서 마음이 좀 후련해지는 것 같습니다.
The homeowner, who had feared the possible collapse of the roof, is ever grateful for the volunteers who came all this way.
겁이 나가지고 밤을 잠 못 잤는데 여러분이 와가지고 이렇게 고생하고 눈 터져 너무 기분이 좋아요. 아주 감사합니다.
The residents of South Chungcheong Province and Sejong City had suffered a disastrous oil spill in 2007. Today, they have taken up snow shovels instead of oil-absorbing cloths. They work relentlessly to prop up the crumpled greenhouse and scoop up the snow. The miracle they performed in Taean has been recreated in Gangneung.
해안 기름 유출 있을 때 많은 저희들한테 도움을 줬기 때문에 우리 세종시에서도 그 보답하기 위해서
More than 40,000 volunteers have come up to the eastern part of Gangwon region over the past 2 weeks. They're lending a sorely needed helping hand to those who are in the same predicament they were in not too long ago.
As the 2014 Winter Olympics march on in Russia, a video of South Korean skaters dancing to the mega hit song Ba 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 is the latest viral video on the web.
5 South Korean short track skaters danced to the tune of girl group Crayon Pop's mega hit Ba Ba Ba. With their skating helmets on, the skaters enthusiastically performed the so-called 5-cylinder engine dance. Among the 5 are Shim Seok-hee, Kim Ha-rang, and Shin Da-eun. They are the youngest members of Korea's short track skating team. The video, which was posted last year, has attracted more than 40,000 views on YouTube. Its popularity soared, especially after the skaters' recent performances at the Winter Olympic Games in Sochi. A sequel to the movie, The Avengers, will be filmed in South Korea. The Hollywood blockbuster had drawn 7 million people in Korea alone. The production company said that South Korea has a combination of cutting-edge technologies, beautiful scenery, and modern buildings, making the country one of the best locales to film a superhero movie. Starring Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson, The Avengers 2 will open in South Korea in April next year. Idol boy group EXO will extend its April concerts in Japan to attract 100,000 fans. EXO initially planned to perform for only 2 days, starting on April 12th. However, prompted by Japanese fans' enthusiasm, the boy group has changed its plan and will present 5 shows over 3 days.
A lot of people struggle with dry eyes. Makeup only compounds the problem. Here are a few tips to keep your eyes in good shape.
Makeup accentuates feminine beauty. Many women put in extra effort on their eye makeup in particular as it creates bigger, deeper eyes. It's good to look at, but can daily makeup be harmful? Stage makeup is critical for those performing in a musical. We stop by a busy dressing room. Makeup is done a little extravagant with thick eyeshadow and eye lines and artificial lashes. This person says it's become an occupational hazard.
섀도우를 하면 섀도우 가루가 떨어져가지고 눈 안에 들어가서 눈이 빨개지거나 아니면 뭐 눈에 막 계속 뭐가 껴있는 것 같은 느낌.
깨끗하게 안 묻힌다고 해도 이게 조금씩은 남아있으니까 그게 쌓이다 보면은 다래끼 같은 게 생기는 경우에 병원 가서 짠 적.
Dry eye syndrome patients number some 1.5 million in Korea. It's significant to note that of this total, there are twice as many women than men. This married lady says repeated thick makeup led to her dry eyes and she's now taking better care of them. She had a lot of interest in eye makeup, but now she rarely uses it.
눈화장을 자주 하다 보니까 눈에 피로도 많이 오고 충혈도 되고 또 안구색도 변하는 것 같아요. 그러면서 이제는 더 이상 눈화장을 좀 자제해야 되겠다 싶어서
The first thing she did after making up her mind to cut down on eye makeup was sorting out cosmetics past their shelf life. She's also more careful with dyeing her hair. Ammonia gas contained in coloring can harm the cornea or impair eyesight. When dyeing her hair at home, she wears goggles.
파마나 염색을 할 때 눈이 따끔거리고 부작용이 좀 심하더라고요. 그래서 집에서 염색을 할 때는 불안경을 끼고 해요.
It may be an uncomfortable hassle, but this way the cornea is better protected. Nonetheless, it's tough to entirely forego eye makeup for all your life. What can be done?
화장품 자극을 최소화한 건강한 눈 화장법 알려드릴게요.
One way is to try coloring products on your ear before applying them to the eye.
메이크업 전에 귀 뒤에 제품을 발라서 테스트를 해보면 제품이 자기한테 맞는지 안 맞는지를 좀 알 수 있거든요.
As for eyeshadow, the cream type is better. If you're using the powder type, first put some moist cream on your eyelids, then apply the powder to reduce any chance of powder flying around. When drawing your eye lines, avoid lining near the mucous membrane, but draw the lines as if you're filling in between the eyelashes. Treat your eyes delicately and apply makeup accordingly.
메이크업 하시는 것도 중요한데요. 이제 메이크업 지우시는 방법도 굉장히 중요하거든요. 이제 클렌징 대해서 좀 팁 알려드릴게요.
When the day is over, use eye-exclusive removing agents to wipe the makeup off. Use a soft sponge for thorough cleansing. Beauty is nice, but health comes first. Embrace eye-friendly makeup and maintain sparkly, clear eyes.
Now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. We'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Have a great day.